is the new and revamped, all back together, doing it big, kind of whatever you want to call it. J Electronica approved, three black guys with a mic. I'm Maynard Scales. My man Lamont G. Gordon Hayes, the man, the myth, and the legend. Are you there, my dude?
J Electronica
Right.
approved.
Right.
we
That's what I was
starting?
gonna ask
Are
about.
we starting this thing off like that?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
sad part about it is that you talk about J Electronica approved. Like, did it take us that long to put out a new episode?
J
and,
Electronica approved. What is that?
as you hear with the sideline rim shot jokes, you got my main man. I can't even say his. I
Yeah,
can't give
let's
his
not give the
No
government.
government. Spud.
Yeesh, I'm kind of wanted in a couple of these states.
Wait a minute. You're right, but didn't he just give? I was
Yeah,
trying to say.
he hit you with two. He hit you with two middle
But
names.
you've been.
I still got collection agencies out here, man. What's up with that?
You always been Lamont G. Hayes, the man, the myth, the legend. That's who you been.
Yeah, but you added a name on that one.
You added a name, bro.
What
Like
did I
now,
add?
here come the DMs with the shots, the making fun of the middle name. You know, I'm a little self conscious about that, bro.
My bad, Flash. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, my goodness, my dudes. As Rakim would say, it's been a long time. Let me, let me just kind of see if we could check in with Spud and see what's the latest with you. The last time we really, really dug in deep, we were talking about the movie, the Married movie. That's been successful. That's blowing up on Amazon. What's the latest with you?
Right now, I'm just trying to, get over this little, voice straining. Other than that, man, just working, back to, regular life.
Back to the
That is it. Back to the grind every single day. Doing a movie is like, you giving out. You're not really, all of your time is like putting into a movie. Now it's kind of like, yo, let's get back to, what makes money. Sometimes movies don't make money. The good thing about it is we're in a green, but, that's a good thing. So, but I'm all good, man. Glad to be back here. Glad to be back with you guys. Chop up politics and hip hop, things that's going on in the urban communities. A lot of things that's been happening in the world. And I'm glad to be able to be back on this outlet to be able to just kind of express my feelings on what's going on in the world, to be able to just chop it up with you guys and, just kind of have the camaraderie of brotherhood. I think that that's extremely important. Kind of being away from it for, a year. Really gave me the opportunity to kind of be able to just go out, and thank you guys for allowing me to go out and do something, on my own, and kind of, work on a project with my wife, and, to be able to have the ability to be able to come back and to kind of, sit back in the chair and just kind of like chop it up. I think it's extremely important for, us as black men to have conversations about things that go on from a black male's perspective. And I'm honored to be able to be back, and happy to be back, and happy to be able to, talk about things that's going on in the world with you guys.
Yo,
wait, hold up, man. I got to make a public service announcement. So, to all of the people that listen to the podcast that know my grandma, your grandma that Spud is back, so my grandma can stop asking me, when is the other black guy coming back? I know he's been busy, so just tell grandma he's back. So we good now. Okay?
So I wasn't good. I wasn't good enough, though. Your grandmama was like, "Yeah, we got that Maynard dude," but
keep it a buck. My grandmother, who just is getting ready to celebrate her 94th birthday, was very concerned about Spud. She wanted to know. She heard through them streets that that Spud was out making a movie. And she actually felt very bad that she didn't feel well on the day of the movie because she wanted to come. And yeah, she wanted to see her grandson on the big screen as well. You know what I mean? That's part of it. But
no, that's the real reason.
But grandma was really concerned about, okay, the movie's done. He's not back. Where is he? So, this kind of helps my family unit. You know what I mean? So thank you for that, Spud.
Okay, well, let's turn, and also, let me let y'all also know, I don't intend to be in the big seat running this show. Once Spud's voice comes back to life, Yo, the controls are all on him. So, if y'all would just oblige me for another couple of days, weeks, or whatever the case may be, until he gets his whole situation
Hopefully it's
together.
not weeks. Hopefully it's like by the time we get done with this episode.
Okay, okay. Yo, let's
So was
turn.
that disclaimer, Maynard? Was that
Yeah,
like
we'll need those problems. I mean, no, not like that, not like that. I'm just saying with the voice, like I mean, 90% of my money comes from matter of fact, 100% of my money comes from my voice. So without that, we don't eat around here without this voice. Gotta have it.
Gotta have a voice. So let's turn our attention to Mr. Lamont G. Hayes. What's the deal? What's the latest with you, my dude? What you been into? Look, to be up front now, the last time that people heard from Three Black Guys with a Mic as Three Black Guys with a Mic, that was December 29th-ish or something like that. And so we 4 months since then. What you been doing with yourself, my dude?
I'm just being Lamont Hayes. Still
from some of the pictures that he's been sending us, I can tell you what he's been doing.
We still having issues in our household. You know what I mean? The wife wants steak and lobster on Tuesday, and I'm feeling like chicken parm. You know what I mean? So it's those kind of things. Everything is cool. We just cooling. You know what I mean? I do think, as we move on to the podcast, we have to talk about something that's very, very important that's affecting the globe. But from a personal perspective, I'm getting word that, I got a big milestone coming up. I'm going to be 50 years old, bro. And I had a big shindig planned, and there's some things I'm hearing in these streets that, I'm going to have to postpone my joint. So,
man, your joint is September, right?
Yeah, bro. But I'm hearing some things in these streets. And again, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. It's like I'm scrambling and trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Because we was trying to have invites go out. You know what I mean? You got to give people a minute to get to the south of France. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So,
everybody doesn't have $5,000.
Where do I send my regrets? Because I can't.
What do you mean?
I can't afford to roll out to the south of France like that, my man.
Come on, man. I only turned 50 one time. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we've been back, just trying to figure it out. So that's one of the things that's been on my plate, trying to regroup and get things together. You know what I mean?
But here's the problem, Lamont, though. The problem is that unlike you and your lovely wife, everybody can't just go and be like, babe, put $10,000 on a credit card and we going to the south of France and everybody else, and tell everybody else to do the same thing. And it's July and you talk about September. We need a deposit, we need a deposit trip around here. So we need to be able to say, okay, travel agent, here goes $100. How much do I got to pay you every single month to be able to make sure I'll get to the south of France on Lamont's 50th birthday party? You should have been sending out the invites 2 years ago.
True.
Well, like I said, you asked what I had going on. There's a lot of stress right now because you I don't want to say you're right. You think you're taking it a little bit to the extreme, but you do have to give people a couple of months to kind of, work out their work schedule.
Clearly, Maynard, you and I are not in the same tax bracket as everybody else.
Spud, I did Tokyo 2 years ago. I've been stateside ever since.
Right. I feel you.
Yo, I think I literally just paid that Tokyo trip off. I don't know, maybe south of France. Look, this is what I want you to do, Lamont. Just live stream the whole birthday. Live stream it from France.
And you might can even charge on that joint right now.
Right. Wait a minute. Lamont's birthday.
What do you mean
live
charge?
stream.
What do you mean charge? I don't understand.
Oh, hold on. Here we go.
Don't say nothing, Nana. You and I got it. We got it.
Hold on. This what it sounds
we know
like.
how to make some money. We got our.
Well, wait a minute. Wouldn't that be my IP?
Wait. Hold on, Lamont. Hold on. Here, this is I think is what we got going on, Spud. Let me see. Live from the south of France.
Oh my God. Right.
Jesus.
He's basically saying that's what my commercial's gonna sound like. To get everybody to buy into your birthday trip. We're gonna live stream that joint.
Jump on the live stream.
Exactly. Jump on the live stream. 2 a.m. hookers and blow access.
Whoa! My wife is gonna be there.
No, I'm saying
that's all right. You ain't got to be at.
You ain't got to be. The hookers and blow stateside.
You ain't got to be there. But we just got a separate. separate camera for that. Separate, you know what I'm saying, event for that. That's
Okay,
just, you know what I'm saying, VIP
okay.
access only.
So here's my question: can we turn this around? So Maynard,
Sir.
what's going on with you? What have you been doing? Can we do that now?
Man, I just been, I've been out here just trying to get my little checks and my little monies up and just trying to stay out of the way, man. I'm playing the stock market, trying to ride this coronavirus vibe and see if I can get some of this money while
How's
America's
that
on
Radio
sale.
1 stock doing right now?
Ooh, you know what? Funny thing is, the Radio One stock. Well, which piece? Because I had the Radio One stock from when I worked there. That's gonna never make it. That will never make it. I can't sell that until it gets to 17. We still in like the $2 range.
Wow.
But I buy a bunch of Radio One at 83 cents, and then when it hits $2, I sell it. Right now, it's like around $1.78 or something since Corona. That was jumping off at first, but when coronavirus came in, it went from like my 215, 218, 203 down to like $1.50. But I play the penny stocks, my dude. It's an easy
Yeah.
way.
You and I are on the same page. That's where I'm at.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I do like, and this is just what I like. I've been messing with GE and Bank of America, and they're a little bit more expensive. GE's like it might be around $7, $8 right now, but I bought a bunch of GE around 6, and when it goes back to 13, I'll be eating again.
Can we segue into, the coronavirus with that? Because, with the stock market going up and down, up and down, up and down, taking a plummet, you know what I'm saying, going back up a little bit, and then taking a plummet. Is this the time right now to buy, or is this the time to sell, or is this the time to do nothing? And if you can answer that question, both of those actually. And then for somebody who is not in the stock market and looking to get in the stock market, especially for those people who are like, this is the time to buy, this is the time to buy. Is this time to actually get into the stock market right now?
So I know Lamont has some positions on this, but let me share my point. I think if you missed an opportunity, 3 years ago to get Facebook, right, or you missed an opportunity to get on anything, anyone stock, Microsoft, whatever it may be, and you have some money. If it were my money, and I did this myself this past week, back in whatever it was, I bought more GE. I doubled down on Bank of America. Bank of America had dropped down to like $20. It had been a high of around $36 in the 52-week high. I figured like, at 20, if I know 36 is like the high, if it's going to run back to 36 at some point, I'm making $16 a share. So how many shares can you afford to buy? Or you can, go into some other stocks. Like if your money isn't super long and you don't want to mess around, like I said, GE 52-week high is like $13. It was down at 6. So I think that this is an opportunity for people to catch America on sale. All these stocks are trading cheaper, and it's all about the margins. You can mess around and buy you some Tesla. Now, it's expensive. I can't afford to be in that Tesla game, but, it was down like 20%. But the beauty is when Tesla goes back up, it's going to go up 20, 30, 40, 50% probably. And obviously I'm not a stockbroker. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying how I'm playing it. I can't afford to be in the big boy pool. So when some of the big boy stocks fall off, that's a time to capitalize.
Lamont, you unmuted your mic like we're gonna walk up to the podium like Barack Obama.
Well, see, here's my issue with this whole conversation, and you two are both talking like wealthy Republicans, and it's a little disheartening. And you want to know why?
Because we have $20,000 saved, ready to go to the south of France. for our birthday in February.
Right. Just to trick off and not to invest in our futures. Okay. Please do tell.
No, but let me tell you, and this is what the stat was, and I remembered it. I just want to make sure I had it right. Over 69% of all Americans have less than $1,000 in savings.
Okay.
Right? So I'm pretty sure that the average American, it costs more than $1,000 to live, right, per month. So it's like if in this robust economy that we're told that we have and all of these jobs that's going on and how the stock market is popping, this is pre, post, or pre and in the middle currently of Corona. It's like, yo, dog, is the focus even, should it be on stocks or should it be on how do we fix that number? Like less than the stack and the DTE and the water bill is like 400 and gas, even though they're talking about is going down, it's still like at $1.99 a gallon. And, you know, I don't drink milk like that, but whatever a gallon of milk is, and people who eat white bread, I don't eat that either. But it's like whatever that cost is, it's like, yo, dog, even with the penny stocks, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. Yep. Got stock, you know, some things going on over in this household. You're right. But I think we also got to keep in mind that the average person, they ain't got a stack, bro.
Hold on. So he said we got some things, the stocks, right? Yup. We got some things going over in this household, but you know, he talked past that because there's a couple of things he did say that let you know.
No question.
That lets you know what's really going down.
No doubt about it.
One of those things.
I'm not gonna lie. Yes.
One of those things that's going down is, you know, milk. Nah, we don't drink that around here. What's the other thing he said? Oh, we don't do that. We do this other thing.
We ain't messing with no white bread.
No, we ain't messing with no white bread. Our thing is strictly artisan. It's strictly artisan around here. 3 grains.
But Maynard, let me defend myself. Also, is that I'm in a different situation than both of you gentlemen. You know why? Like, I don't have any children, right? I also read a statistic that from birth until a child is 21, a child costs about, it could be between $1.5 to $2 million. You throw in some school, you throw in some medical care, you throw in the having a baby and things of that nature. So Maynard, you probably spent a couple $1 million on that beautiful baby that you have. We got to probably stop calling her baby soon because she's getting older. You, Spud, Deshaun, you know, he's super sexy. The earring, the part, the whole Javette Bowles when he was a kid, the whatever it was, you might have been at 2.5 over time. You know what I mean? So it's like when we talk about those things when you get 50 and you don't have that expense over time, it could be a little different. Because again, instead of some people worrying about how do we save for college for the kid, some people can say, okay, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. But that's still getting away from the point.
So no, I agree with you, you know, Lamont, in a sense of, you know, there are people out here who cannot afford, you know, stocks. And that conversation isn't for everybody. But going back to Maynard's side piece, right? His side piece basically
said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? Whoa.
Let's not say side piece.
His side piece basically said that if you and I'm getting there. So his side piece said, look, if you don't have any money, then you need to start to save money. So that way you can be able to accumulate enough money, so that way you can be able to invest, so that way you can get to a point to where you are playing a stock market game. Because at the end of the day, I think we all would agree that investments is how you are going to go from being it's how you're going to be able to create more wealth, right? Stocks is one of those ways of being able to do that. And so with his side piece being able to say that, I thought that was extremely important for her to be able to say, look, we have to get ourselves into a mindset of saving our money and being able to save enough money for us to be able to put away so that way we can be able to take $1,000, $5,000 and be able to invest this money so that way we can continue to accumulate wealth in the sense of situations like this. As we continue to dive into, you know, the coronavirus, it's going to come down to very, very, very dire. It could. I don't want to say it is. You know, it could come down to very dire situations, and money is going to talk. Money is going to be what it's going to be all about. And if you ain't got cash or if you ain't got no assets, well, you're going to be amongst those people who are going to be ignored is
Yes.
probably the best way for me to be able to say that. Now,
Wait a minute.
because I listened to his. I'm just saying.
Whose side piece are we? What side piece are we talking about?
Now, wait.
He tried to hit the double scratch.
Yeah, because man, he got a side piece and he got his girlfriend. Now, his girlfriend was on the radio the other day that she was investing in dividends. You know what I'm saying? Stocks that had dividends.
Hold on, I got a girlfriend who's investing.
It's important for people. You got a girlfriend, you got a side piece, you got a lot happening in these streets.
Okay.
I ain't even mad at the women that you even chose to be these individuals now. I mean, before I was kind of hating, but, I ain't mad. But I think it is important to at least, even if you don't get into the stock market, it ain't for everybody. But I think that it is important for all of us, especially those who do not have a lot of capital, to not continue to stress about my DTE bill, my water, you got to have that, but my Comcast bill or my Sprint bill or whatever, and start thinking about, yo, can I take 50 of this and put it aside? Can I take 100 of this and put it aside? Can I invest and make, take this $100 and make $300 or whatever the case may be? Because I think that is extremely important in these days, because we don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 months. And, as we dive into, the coronavirus,
Wait. Hold on one second. And this is not a commercial. And Maynard, I'm doing this so you can pivot right in. Spud, I'm with you 300%. And just to share with both of you and everyone on the podcast, and again, this is not a commercial, because there are young people in my life, and I stopped buying them toys at the age of 10. And what I do with anybody else, whether it's Christmas or a birthday or whatever, they all get a stockpile account, stockpile.com, where you can go on there and you can buy portions of stock. So like you said, Maynard, if it's GE or if it's Tesla, because I do have a young niece and nephew, they own some Tesla. Okay, you know what I mean? Now, if the stock price is at 130, they offer it to where you can buy a portion of it. So like you said, Spud, if you want to only spend $100, then they get a portion of that particular stock. So it's 10, 12, 13-year-olds running around here with little stock portfolios. And like we had this one conversation just about a month ago. Why buy Nike gym shoes when you can buy stock in Nike? You feel what I'm saying? Right. So, Spud, I think you're 100% correct. And we have to start with the younger people and even some of the older people, for them to have that understanding that there are tools out here that with that internet, that you can get the Pornhub and the xvideos.com. You can also buy stocks on the same internet. You know what I mean? So, Maynard, come on in with clarifying the side piece. You see I did that transition for you, bro?
I appreciate that. I have looked in the stockpile account you got from me, and there's nothing in it. But we'll discuss that offline. So, second of all, before we get too far into what I'm about to say is, side piece and girlfriend, holla at your boy. Let me know when we can cash in. Then what I will say is this. There are all kinds of apps, stockpile.com. There's Robinhood, which I use a lot. I like Robinhood, but there's several similar ones to it.
Even if you just started with, it's simple, sorry to cut you off, but as simple as Acorn. I mean, like a lot of people are using Acorn right now.
Right. There's Acorn. And so what you can do with, say, how I did it to try to get my little start, and I think this is what the headache had always been. We didn't know how to trade stock. You didn't know how to do it. You had to go to some person, and you called some phone number. It was Charles Schwab, and then they would tell you, we don't want to talk to you unless you got, $5,000 or whatever it may have been. And you were just like, that's a lot for me to outlay one time and not know what's going to happen. And they're also going to invest it immediately, right? That's what you thought. Well, with something like Robinhood, I'll take that one as an example because I use it a lot. You can load your account with money. You can say, okay, this month I got $20. I'm going to put $20 extra in my Robinhood account. Don't have to invest it. Just put it over there and let it sit. Then you can look at the next month. You can do that for a couple of months. 6 months, 8 months, whatever you got left over. Similar to what you said, Lamont. Instead of buying that pair of Nikes, those Jordans that you're going to get for $180 or whatever it may be, Put that money over in Robinhood. Now at the end of 6 months, maybe you got $400 sitting over there. And it's really a savings account at this moment because you haven't invested it yet. You can take that $400 right back if, God forbid, some kind of emergency occurred because it has yet to be invested and it has not experienced any gain or loss. You can just bring that money right back. It might take a day for it to come back, transferring all that stuff. You could do all this on your phone. And then you start buying stock. You investigate a stock. Look at, is it high? Is it low? Is it whatever it may be? And you could buy 2 shares of it or 5 shares, or you find a stock that's $6 and you got $400. You could say, let me just go ahead and let me buy 10 shares and that's $60. See what happens. It goes up a few cents, it goes down a few cents, things will happen. But if it goes from 6 to 12, you just doubled your money. So that's an easy way in. You don't have to have the high barrier to entry where you got to come in here with $1,000 or $2,000, or you got to feel shame that some guy on the end of the phone is thinking of you as a schlep because you don't have enough money, you don't meet his minimum requirements or whatever they may be. You don't have to go through all that, but you should be thinking about investing in your future and your future for your family in some way, whether it's the stock market or something.
Because listen, bottle service is about to be a wrap for a minute. All right, y'all on the bottle service right now, which is fine. God bless you if you could do bottle service. Y'all spending $3,000. $5,000 on bottle service. My wife, what I'm saying, we planning our trip to go to Vegas. Clubs right now in Vegas closed. You can't get no bottle service. You can't, in a minute, you might not even be able to throw ones at a strip club. You're not going to be able to throw no ones.
You're going to have to cash app a stripper right now.
You might have to cash app somebody. And you won't even be able to get the dance. Nope. That's the problem. You won't even be able to get the dance right now.
She's gonna hit you with some antibacterial, spray you down, and just
Listen.
dance the glass on you.
Wait. I was like, what do you mean? If I gave her a 20, or what's the dance now? 10?
20 is the dance now.
Wow. So you can't. I remember that used to be $5. so wait. So the dance is 20, and I guess
there is inflation.
There's some places you can go $5.
It's been a minute. Okay, I got you.
You can still. He's right. You can still go find some $5 joints now.
You can find the $5 boys.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to be in there.
You gonna want to get you
especially amidst the coronavirus right now. You might not want to be in the $5 boy.
Run up in there with your all white antibacterial suit, but
right. But this thing is affecting everybody, people to people. And in large crowds. And so dive deeper. Like there's this show, and I just kind of accidentally stumbled upon it. It's called Containment. It's like a series that's on Netflix, and I've kind of binged it yesterday. But I watched Pandemic on Netflix or whatever. But it made me start thinking, and this is the reason why, you guys can expand. Why I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into, the coronavirus is because like my sister works in, in Vegas in the casinos, and like she just got laid off because they're closing the casinos. Like,
right.
They're shutting down the casinos. And she's like, they say, June 30th, but they don't really have an answer. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but I haven't seen anybody on the news, Dr. Fauci or Sanjay Gupta or even the president even say when this thing is going to end. And like, we think back to like January, even December, right? Nobody thought that schools would be closed. Nobody was thinking that this thing was even going to get to America. Nobody was thinking that the NBA was going to be shut down. Nobody was going to be thinking that, there was going to be no toilet paper or no water in the store 4 months ago. And so not just in the stock market, but just in the preparation game. And I think that that's kind of the overall mentality that we're talking about is we got to start thinking about what's going to happen in the next 4 months and the next 6 months. Like even Louisiana and Georgia talk about postponing, if they already didn't, postponing their primaries.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't even vote. So this thing it can have the potential to have a very serious effect on our economy, how we do business, you know what I'm saying, on a day to how we live. You know, if you can't go outside for 2 weeks, yo, like
Well,
that's serious. And
well,
so I think that, and I said it's not be done, but I think that my overall point, even going into the stock market part, is we got to start thinking about how we're going to be living our lives in September. Like how are we going to be able to prepare if your job tomorrow says we shutting you down, you ain't got no savings, you have no money or anything. How are you going to be able to survive between now and September? How are you going to? God forbid somebody starts running in your house trying to take toilet paper, dog,
well, that's how you
because there's no
survive.
toilet paper.
That's exactly how you gonna. That's how people gonna survive. They're gonna take all the excess toilet paper they purchased and mark it up and sell it. But
Yeah, but the problem is, then you're gonna have people out here looting. You have ignorant people gonna be out here like, oh, they over there. My man's in them. They got all the toilet paper, and they're gonna tell me they're gonna sell it for a profit. Oh no, I'm about to run up there and grab it.
well, here's
That's
the crazy
unfortunately the
part.
mentality.
Here's the crazy part. Toilet paper is not going to help you solve anything with the coronavirus. And it's just interesting that everybody bought all the toilet paper. But
Right.
okay. But you mentioned a name a second ago. You mentioned Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci I think has been the one person to come to the microphone, and there have been several people who have been able to come to the microphone and speak. But Dr. Fauci's been the one person that I've really had my eyes on because he plays it right down the middle. He's a straight shooter, and he's told us it's going to get worse before it gets better. And here's the timeline that he's thinking, right? So he's looking at these things that they did in China. Uh, if we could afford to do what China did, which basically is shut down a whole province, China did. For us right now, it would be shut down states, certain places that have more a heavier concentration of coronavirus infection than others, and maybe even other places. So now, for instance, my daughter is home from school for 2 weeks. The way I see it, they may as well make it 4 weeks because we're going to run into spring break in a week or so after this 2 week period is over. So just extend it. I mean, err on the side of safety. Um, and it's going to be tough, right? I got to find someone. My daughter's just 10, so we got to find babysitting and all that kind of stuff, and that's an extra cost. I understand, but we got to make it through this. So, what do we know about coronavirus, and what things are true, what things are likely not true, and what things are downright false? What I do know to be true is it's a virus, it's not a bacteria. And while using hand sanitizer is going to help you have a higher level of cleanliness, uh, usually hand sanitizer is an antibacterial. So they're saying it's going to help, but that's not going to be the entire answer. But what they are saying is wash your hands, warm water and soap. So you need to wash them for 20 seconds or more. You need to wash up past where your watch would typically dangle on your wrist. So go 2-3 inches past that. Wash between your fingers, what we call the webbing of your fingers. Wash your palms very good and wash under your fingernails. They're also recommending that you keep your nails kind of trim so that it's easier for warm water to get into your nails and help keep them clean. Coughing and sneezing and anywhere where droplets, they say coronavirus is heavy on the droplets, or droplets of your saliva or your sneeze or whatever it may be, mucus. When that occurs with someone else in close corners, you want people to sneeze or cough into the crease of their elbow so they can cover their whole mouth. Hopefully they're wearing a long cloth sleeve. And then you want to immediately, wash your face after you've been in the presence of someone who's been sneezing or coughing, because those droplets may have been gotten onto your face. And after you've done those kinds of things, and also dry your hands completely. Coronavirus can live in the fluid, in the water that's still on your hands. So you want to dry your hands completely. so that you're less contagious or less transmittable in that time frame. There's things I've heard that I think are likely very not true. I've heard people say that coronavirus isn't an effect in Africa, therefore it's not affecting black people, therefore black people can't get it because of our skin color or something like that. I've heard that. I'm recommending, although I'm not Dr. Fauci, I'm recommending that that's some bullshit. Don't you believe it? I've heard people say things. Well, this, and I put this up as a joke the other day. Oh, I got my ginger ale. I'm coronavirus 19, whatever ready. Nah, the standard things, ginger ale and tussin, that ain't gonna cut it, y'all. Quarantine or social
Wait,
distancing.
so I gotta take my ginger ale back?
No, 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 no. You keep the ginger ale. That's
Oh,
good
I was
for
gonna
other
say,
things.
dang, because
That's good for other
I just
things.
bought 2 things of it.
So, and then here's one thing, and it's a slippery slope between these two. There's something called social distancing, and there's something called quarantining. People are thinking about quarantine and staying in the house. If you have contracted coronavirus, you should quarantine yourself into a safe place. Your home, probably if you have other family members who've yet to contract it or have not contracted it, you want to try to isolate yourself into the home somewhere where you don't have to come in close contact with them all the time. Use a separate bathroom, get you a new toothbrush, throw away your old toothbrush, use mouthwash a lot, clean the house, do a deep clean on the house. That's if you have coronavirus or someone in your home has coronavirus. But this other thing, which is not quarantining, is called giving you social distance. One of the things I don't want people to walk away with is that, oh, as a result of that, because they're saying schools are shut down or this is shut down or whatever we're doing is doing this, that we all have to be in quarantine. That's not 100% accurate. We should keep social distance. What Fauci is saying is you probably need to have 3 feet to 6 feet between you and any person in public. Um, that is the kind of the distance that droplets will travel, somewhere between 3 and 6 feet. So if you can avoid a lot of social interaction that is less than 3 feet away from you, you know, then you probably can avoid getting it. You don't have to have a mask. If you do get a mask, I think they're recommending the N95 mask. Um, so there are lots of facts. I would recommend going to www.cdc.gov for more information. That's C as in cat, D as in dog, C as in cat.gov, and they have all the information you need on that. Also, I
So
was
Lamont, let me ask you this. So did Maynard get a check for all of that? Because that
Well,
was a pretty. When I
well,
said deep, let's go do a deep dive
right.
into the coronavirus. I didn't mean like go and take a master's course. I didn't know you were going to get a check from the CDC
No,
to
no, no,
be
no,
pretty
no,
much to
no.
be the mouthpiece.
No,
wait a
no, no.
minute. Wait a
That
minute.
wasn't a check. No, 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 Maynard. Give me a second.
Hmm.
Because as you on our podcast out here trying to be Deion Sanders, out here trying to showboat, out here trying to take the ball in the end zone. You got a
Prime
team over
time.
here. Feel what I'm saying?
You didn't throw the ball one time.
Not one time. He is Deion Sanders. He trying to be prime time. You feel
Prime
what I'm
time.
saying? So, and that's cool. I get that. And I'll take my Gronk role. You know what I'm saying? Because I always liked Gronk. I don't know why I thought about him because that's 2 different times in NFL. But here's what I will say, and I want to backtrack a little bit about what you said, Spud, about the toilet paper, because I think 98.5% of everything that Maynard said was correct. But I thought about why people are running to get toilet paper. We need to be buying some more bullets. I thought about that, and I thought about
Amen to that.
what this coronavirus really is, and again on what Maynard said, the washing of the hands and the chitty chitty bang bang and all that. But this should also be about a lot of what you said, Spud, about a life teachable moment. You know what I mean? And especially in our community how I've always been on this podcast that talked about us and them. And, we have to take a different look at what we have going on. You know what I mean? Because this really is probably going to bankrupt families. And I told this to my wife when we went to them, to the this and the bought the this and the steaks and the this and the that and the boom, bam, boom. And we filling up the car. And I'm saying to myself, there are so many people that can't do this. They can't go to the store and spend $1,000. You know what I mean? Or $2,000. You know what I mean? And what I did notice, and I thought that this was funny, is all the things that you saw on the people running to get toilet paper, the majority of those places were at Walmart. And I'm not hating on Walmart. Walmart is all good. But I don't shop at Walmart. And everywhere that I went to get toilet paper or whatever it is, it was mountains and mountains and mountains of it. So what that told me again is that my people, you know what I'm saying, are scrambling and maybe in a different situation because, I might have paid extra $2 for the toilet paper where I was, and it was Cottonelle or whatever the hell it was, but it wasn't no issue in that community. It wasn't nobody fighting in those stores. If anything, when I went to the butcher, it wasn't but me and 2 other people in there getting steaks. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no run on the thing. So it's just more about, I think this needs to be a teachable moment for us. Because I do think we'll get through it in the whole chitty bang bang, but it's like, yo, dog, we got to figure this out a little better on what we got going on instead of going for the bottle service or going for the hookers and the blow that we talked about or whatever it is that Maynard's doing out here in these streets. We got to just look at it a little different.
No, I mean, you're correct in everything that, I'm saying, Maynard, the way you broke it down was extremely necessary. I mean, the social distance. I mean, even about the, drying your hands, and not being consciously aware that this thing can live in, fluid and you don't even know, like, like my wife and I were talking about, and she was like, oh, well, they said, that the heat, will get rid of it. Yeah, that may be true, but that was true like a month ago. This thing changes, it's changing about a minute. And again, my only thing is I just want us to start to think about like, what life is going to look like 4 months from now, and start preparing for that. Because again, we didn't know schools was going to be closed 4 months ago. We need to look at the situation like, yo, how am I really going to survive? Because, and again, this was a series, but it was so close to home of what the coronavirus looked like. If you guys get the opportunity to watch this series, it's called Containment. It's on Netflix, but it went from, oh, this isn't anything. Same thing with the coronavirus too. Oh, well, it's in this location, to what Maynard's point was. Let's lock down this location. Oh, okay. Now everybody in this location, nobody can go. So that means, to Lamont's point, oh, now these people don't have access to food. They don't have access to, home. They don't access to, anything, then your electricity and, your access to services, start to go out. And then people start looting and they start rioting and they start doing stupid stuff because they're trying to survive. And so I hope that, it doesn't get that way. Even in our building, at the company I work for, they're like, yo, we got to start thinking about how, if we can't come in the building, how are we going to broadcast on the radio? Like, how are we going to literally send our shows to the radio station to get them on the air so people can hear the radio station? Because the radio station can't shut down. So we got to be prepared in the sense of, how are we going to access to the world in the event that we can't come in the building? Like, that's real conversation. And I don't think that, enough people are looking at it from that perspective, not to say that I'm right or bigger or anything. I just want for us to be in a situation where we're starting to look at, I hate to say it, even to Lamont's point, like, yo, what you gonna do if you got 20 things of toilet paper in your household and you got 50 cases of water, and Junebug down the street like, yo, Maynard got 50 cases of water. We ain't got none.
We got to run up.
We got to run up on homeboy. And
I don't have no water. I don't have no water.
No,
everybody, I don't have no water. I don't have no water.
I mean, but you never, what I'm saying? But, and you're like, you got you and, your family you got to protect. And you like, damn, I got 50 cases of water, but I ain't got no bullets in this joint. And Junebug and them decide to run up on you, and they're like, yo, sorry, man, we love you. You my man. And you like, but Junebug, I just gave you $20 last week. You like the little kid from down the street. But my man, I gotta get that water. Sorry. You cool, Mr. Scales? I love you. I ain't gonna mess with you, but you gotta run that. You gotta run that toilet paper, bro.
Check it in. Lamont, is
Check
that is
it
it
in.
check in?
So, I mean, so I mean, I know we went very, very long on that. I think it was very necessary. I think all the information was extremely good, but we just got to start to prepare ourselves for in the event that this could happen. I'm gonna say this and I'll be done. I mean, and I'm not putting her business out there, but this is just a prime example, right? Like my sister, lives in Vegas. She went from working, you know, pretty much every day, to they call her last night talking about, yo, we got to lay you off. You talk about Vegas, entertainment capital of the world, basically. And you go from making all this great money to I ain't got no job, basically. And you don't even know what's gonna happen next. When you can come back to work. Can you come back to work? How's this thing to your point, man? Or like everybody talk about 3 weeks. Shoot, what happens when the schools come back in? Is everybody, what I'm saying? Everybody's not like they don't got the cases on everybody. So you still got to be overprotective in this, in the situation, because shoot, you need 4 weeks really,
Man,
just to, the extra week just to kind of reorganize and get everything right, and make sure everybody is, clean. You might have to give you a cavity check before you come back in this school, my dog.
cavity check. Whoa, it's a little personal.
And you know what, Maynard? As Spud just said that, it just made me think about, this is about me protecting myself as you throw these shots at me. I am a little sensitive, and I know that the mayor of New York, de Blasio, he kind of caught a little heat because he was like, I can't close the schools. He said, yo, dog, we got I think it was 4 million kids, 3 million, whatever, however many kids it was. I don't want to speak out the wrong number. But it's like Maynard, you have to figure out, like you said, childcare, bro. Like you have to figure out possibly a homeschooling tutor. And all those things cost money. I ain't got that. I just go give me a couple cowboy steaks at $37.99 a pound and keep it pushing. You feel what I'm saying?
Spud, are you listening to this, Spud? Every time he said that we sound like a bunch of Republicans talking about trying to invest $500. He done mentioned the cowboy steaks. He early in the game he was like, "Yo, my wife and I, we got this. We doing what we do. We trying out here in these streets. We got a problem because we gotta figure out if we are gonna have lobster or we gonna have steaks or we gonna have the shrimp lobster mac and cheese, and it's got to be a certain ratio."
Yes. And Maynard, wait, just so we're clear. Morton's had like the lobster special. You know what I mean? Where you got like the 2 lobster tails, a vegetable, and a dessert. It was like $38.99 or something.
Oh my God! Can we go to a break and come back?
Yo, we do happen to. We're gonna come back and we're gonna find out why Lamont's in his feelings. But for a moment here, we're gonna get into this special message brought to you by none other than BWP.
This episode of Three Black Guys with a Mic is brought to you by BWPmarketing.com. Rappers, singers, and professional musicians, let BWP Marketing take your music career to the next level. BWP Marketing is a full-service marketing agency with over 20 years of experience in the music business. Bottom line, BWP Marketing makes it happen. No runaround, no drama, just results. Do you need help getting your music heard on iTunes, Spotify, or Tidal? Do you need your music on radio? Plus, we can help maximize your social media presence and create a customized digital plan just for you. BWP Marketing has helped artists such as Yo Gotti, Summer Walker, Roddy Ricch, and the legendary Mary J. Blige and Tony Braxton. And now we're ready to help you. Go to www.bwpmarketing.com and get more information. Then click on the contact page and in the subject line, type 3 Black Guys, and we will send you a free BWP Marketing Artist Worksheet. This detailed sheet shows you 45 ways how you, as an artist, should be generating income with your music. Take your music career to the next level with BWP Marketing. That's bwpmarketing.com. And now, back to the show.
Well, BWP Marketing, we want to thank the good folks over there at BWP Marketing for providing us some support on this show. Herbcaster Media is so happy to have BWP Marketing as one of our newest and most important sponsors. So, Lamont, you in your feelings this week about something?
I mean, we had all that coronavirus talk, bro. I'm like, am I supposed to be in my feelings about corona? You know, about the attack on the.
No, what you and your feelings about is extremely important.
Well, actually, I mean, I was gonna go one way, man, but I think I'm in my feelings about flipping the switch.
Okay.
I think, you know, by now everyone probably should have seen the flip the switch challenge. You know, the internet, you know, has everybody dancing and boogieing and doing all this other buffoonery foolishness instead of us focusing on some of the things that we talked about. But this one is a little super duper disturbing. So if you haven't seen it, I guess it's where in one of the songs with Drake, he talks about flipping the switch and people are like in their bathrooms, right? So you'll have like a man and a woman, or maybe I've seen a few where there have been adults and children. But the one that are particularly disturbing to me is when the man is in the mirror dancing and the woman is in the mirror dancing, and then they turn the light off. And, you know, and a part of the song is flip the switch, and then you turn the light back on, and now they've changed clothes. So the majority of these, you know, flip the switch challenge end up with the man dancing and singing in the mirror in a dress or in female clothes or in a bra and panty set, right? And I'm like, yo, why are we still on the man having to put panties and bra? And what really hurt my heart, and I hope he or anybody else, and they probably do, the music business isn't that fast as it used to be. One of my heroes did the flip the switch challenge. You guys probably don't. Actually, Spud, you might know him. He's in there with his wife, and then he flipped the switch, and he's standing there in bra and panties, dancing with his wife.
Who that is, Lamont?
I was so hurt. I mean, this was like a manly's man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what's up with that? Why we got to keep putting on the bra and panties, bro? Why? So that's what I'm in my feelings about. Yeah. Yo, stop with the bra and panties, fellas. Cut this shit. Come on, man.
Yo, I saw the...
That needs to be the name of the actual feature. Cut the shit, dog.
You know what? This is a progress. So you know what? I second that emotion.
Oh, God. Cut
shit, man. Like, what are we doing out here, bro? Like, what happened to the day? And I think about this, and people could call me an old fogey or whatever, but it's like, whatever happened to the man being the man? You feel what I'm saying? Like, whatever happened to, and again, Maynard, I think you spoke on this, maybe you too, Spud. There was a time, like, you wouldn't even have to get, like, a spanking or whatever from your dad. He would just look at you or say some shit. You just be like, let me straighten up. That's my dad. Like, I don't want them kind of problems. Instead of, you know, and I don't want to get into the Zion conversation and the this and the that and the, you know, and man, I know you're not a fan of Tariq Nasheed, but he's my guy. He said something. He was like, yo, how can you have a young person that's 12, like, and I know we can say kids are different. They don't really know about the whole sexualization of stuff. You shouldn't have a 9-year-old boy in the mirror flipping the switch with a dress. Come on, dog. That's not what we doing out here.
The sad part about it is we live. No, it's not. I don't know if it's sad or not, but we live in different times. You know, where I'm going to use the word social acceptance, but I don't know. I don't. That may not be right. Where, you know, we just are living in where it's okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? In our day, you know, I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, in our day, we was like, oh, yeah, you want to be this, or, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, I want to be, you know, I want to be a basketball player, or I want to be an astronaut, or, you know, I'm Superman, or whatever the case may be. Never were you like, I want to be a girl, you know, or I want to be a guy. And I don't know, we might need to have that conversation one day on, is that good or bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, in your opinion, is right now, is it okay for, is it helpful or is it hurtful for Dwayne Wade to be supporting his child in that way?
You know, that's a long.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We can't get into it today, but I mean, that's a conversation we definitely need to have in the future.
Well,
Here's what I'm
we have that conversation.
here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. When I was 5 or 7 years old, I don't know why.
My God! Oh my God! He's coming out right now on the show.
Because Maynard,
oh my God! You had a conversation
that
with your
water
mama.
glistening
Your mama
all
said something
over
to you.
your body.
Oh my God! Here we go. Oh my gosh! It's happening.
No, I wanted to be a fireman.
Oof.
Real talk. You remember the show Emergency 51, right? When I was a kid, I was like, yo, that looks fun. But see, they never showed you running into a burning building or having black lung when you got 70 or you only making like $28,000 a year with partial benefits. You know what I mean? It's like, so when you're a kid, you can't take in everything. So you're right. We're going to talk about D Wade, you know, and Zion, and we want to be respectful, and we know the Rainbow Police, aka the bullies, is out here in these
the
streets.
alphabet community.
Yeah, them alphabet people. They're gonna be like, oh, you ain't gonna bully me. That's the one thing in the black community. We don't play that shit. All that bullying that you no.
What about the blacks that are in the alphabet community?
I'm down with that too. But see, you should know about bullying. You should ask your great grandparents that were enslaved in this country, and we can talk about the real ultimate bullying. So it's cool to have a choice, and you're right. You can have your opinion. I got you, but you're not going to you're not going to force your opinion on me. We don't play them games. Not over here.
All right. Well, you say it then, black man.
I'm gonna say this one piece though, and this is important. That's Dwayne Wade's son.
No doubt.
And
no question about it.
And whatever Dwayne Wade, you know, and I'm gonna tell you, and I said this about my own daughter, who has not made any inkling about whatever her preferences may be in the future. I don't know. She don't know. I don't think it's even crossed her mind. She's just 10. But that's my child. And if she came to me one day and said, Dad, this is my decision, this is what I'm trying to do, that's my child. And
yeah, but your child shouldn't have a publicist. Your child shouldn't be out here on the runway.
I get that. But
sending out press releases. You feel what I'm saying?
But people will still be like, oh, even on a low level, even just in your neighborhood, the 3-4 people on your block will say, look at how they raising that child, and look at what they're doing.
Fine.
And no, it's not fine.
That's fine.
It's not. Let me tell you, it's not fine. That's mine. And I think the unfortunate thing, while I'm not supporting a lot of weirdness. I'm not a fan of it. I recognize that the minute that somebody takes license to be able to say that person's wrong or this is that, is the minute that people start thinking that they can start putting their hands on people. They killed that boy out there in Wyoming because he was gay, or gay people get bashed, or just people who are different get bashed as soon as somebody says that's not right. And I tell you straight out, somebody put their hand on my child, it's a problem. So we got to get into that.
Can I ask one question though before we go? I know we're leaving.
Go ahead.
I'm asking just to Lamont first. So how do you feel, Lamont, about? Okay, I'm not gonna ask it this week. Forget about it. We gotta close. All right. Lamont's saying we gotta close.
Lamont said we got to go. We got to go. So next week, y'all, we'll do it again. In fact,
we'll get to the question.
We'll get to the question.
We'll let Spud start the next episode with the question.
He'll start the episode. And here's the beauty, though. You know, y'all going to be getting a special bonus pack of 3 Black Guys Who Make. It's going to be more than just one. So, y'all stay with us. We'll do it again. Peace.